We're live. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another program of La Scena Tête. I'm a little bit confused here today. We're having a lot of difficulties, but anyways, sorry about that, and sorry for Rehab because that was a beautiful performance that we were listening. And she's here with us, as you can see.
Hi guys, hello.
And
Morning.
yes, so we're back with another program of La Scena Tête à Tête. Last time was around 2 weeks ago. And well, we're going to be back now. We're going to be doing it now monthly. We have a lot of work doing on right now with La Scena Musicale. We're preparing the November issue. So stay awake for that. We're gonna be distributing in Gazette and Journal de Montréal the next issue, talking a lot about COVID-19 and the arts and also the prepositions that they are at least for the online community, so people can still watch opera or whatever is their taste, at least online. So yeah. So without further ado, you know me. I'm Don Adriano, and I'm here with Rihab Chaieb, Mezzo-Soprano, for those who doesn't know. And
Guys.
so how are you, Rihab?
I'm good. I'm really good. I mean, as well as one can be during these times, I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm doing my thing. So I'm good. I'm good for the situation.
Okay, good to hear. So where are you now? Actually, were you able to come back to Canada?
Yeah, yeah. I've been in Montreal now for since the COVID happened, and I actually went to Europe for about 5 weeks, and then I've been back since the beginning of September.
Okay, was that actually right after your? I know you. But congrats, by the way, you did a Carmen. You did your premiere, your first Carmen in Cologne, I think, in Cologne, in Germany. And was that right after that?
No, so actually the Carmen was the end of my last year, so the end of 2019, from September, October until January. So it was a really long uh, time period. I was there for 4 months. And no, I came back then in January. So and then I had a few other concerts, especially with the Montreal Symphony Orchestra and the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. And then I was in Geneva for work on a new opera premiere, a world premiere. And this is when COVID happened, and I had to come back from Geneva back to Montreal.
Oh, all right, all right. Well, so I guess well, to go with what is happening now with the COVID-19 and all that. What's uh what's your position on all that as an artist, and also maybe if you can step back from the artist place, and as a citizen too, how are you living it, and what do you think about the new developments? They reopened, of course, and then we had like 2 weeks reopened or something ridiculous, really. And they decided to close back the arts with 28 days at least. I think it's until October 28th, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, you have to understand, like, as artists, I feel we're used to always be the last to be thought of, right? So it's not a new feeling. We know, yes, okay, there's not a lot of money. Yes, okay, we have to do this and that. So it's not a problem. I think what became a problem was when decisions were made a bit randomly. Why gyms are open but not concert halls. But I don't really want to get into that. But I just want to say that I do wish that our current government would just give the arts and culture, not arts, but culture, a bigger place in society and in the health of our citizenship, of our citizens. We during the COVID, a lot of people talked about mental health and the fact of being alone and very secluded and confined and everything. But if arts wasn't there, if artists weren't there doing streamings and doing, Netflix and music and sharing and streaming and blah blah blah, would be very miserable right now. Yet we really take them and us for granted, and the government do as well. And I just wish, there would be something where a program or something where artists can they can rely on. It's something where they can rely on that. That's, if something happens, we can rely on that. As artists, we
Like
don't
you mean
have.
like in France that they have in France they have like social security for artists for the time.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. For artists, depending on how many hours you've worked the previous 2 years, and then you have a certain tier, and then you make, because not everybody's making the same, not everybody's rent and lifestyle is the same, of course, but
Yeah.
just a bit, think about us, not just, okay, one thing for everyone, and then now
Yeah,
that
that
it doesn't make sense. We're employed, we're self-employed, but I just wish we were a bit better supported, and the government knew a bit more what to do. And I really hope that this is a learning curve for the government to realize, like, wow, how unprepared we are for certain things.
yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay to say we don't know. But now that we're in the middle of it, let's make sure that next time, and there will be other times, not to, make everyone panic, but there will be other times. We don't know. We just don't know.
Well, we gotta be ready for it in any case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Let's be ready for it. Let's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just,
I
and
like your point about having social insurance for artists as this the model in France, because I mean that's a way to secure the artist and for them to be able to really explore in the career, because it's not everybody that has the
yeah,
big contracts, like when
no,
you think about it, right now there are some people singing, but those are like maybe the 1 percentile of the opera world, or the 5 percentile maybe, like. And and if we see, it's all on Europe, like things are happening on Europe in Europe right now, even
and
with the
that's the
COVID.
thing. It's like now we started to get things happening. The government was saying like 250 people. Okay, because we are flexible, we're adaptable. You give us anything, we'll make it work. We'll make it work, because we are like that. We're focused, we're eager, we love what we do. That's the difference. You give us anything, we'll make it work. But give us something, help us here, because and that's the thing, is like we really want to share our craft and our love, but it feels like we're always getting blocked and blocked and blocked. And it's like, it's very frustrating, because to me, through the past concerts I did, everyone was so, you know it was very polite. Everyone knew their place. Everyone, they asked at the Festival de la Naudière in Joliette, the last concert I did, they said, please don't stand at the end of the concert, please don't stand. Well, they had a procedure for like how people leave, and people just left, and people kept their mask, and there was no touching, there was no contact, there was just distance, rules, and everyone their turn, and people just, they loved it. They'd rather, there was, I mean, I love Aline. She came to see 2 concerts in a row. You know how far it is? It's like an hour and a half with traffic.
Yeah, it's
She
far.
did
Yeah,
that twice because people are
that's so
dying
cute.
to see live performance.
Aline Kutan, the soprano.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hi, Aline, if you're watching, I love you. But there was Michael McMahon and Adrian Pichanka the night before, and it was us with the OSM, Maestro Debus and I, for the final concert. And she came 4 hours minimum of driving just to see 2 concerts. And just,
Wow.
it takes time. There's a lot of procedures, but people are willing to do it, and people are willing to listen to these procedures and abide by the rules.
Yeah.
Why are we punished for a few rogue, crazy people who don't want to wear their masks? We should punish them, not us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's complicated, and just to inform the people, the governmental measure was, the response for the artists was to give 50 million in aid to performing arts organizations. So it's and that's to cover around 70%, 75% of the tickets sales that they lost, and that's until I think March next year. So I mean, there are some measures, but I mean,
It is
$50 million when you try to distribute it, how is it going to be distributed?
and
Uh,
a lot of organizations are relying on streaming, which it's the thing to do now.
yeah,
One of my next future concerts with Orchestre Classique de Montréal is also, it's planned to be in front of an audience, but let's say that's not even happening. There is a procedure so we can stream it and still continue with the concert, which is very, commendable on their part. But the thing is, the government also needs to understand that looking at your screen doesn't make you it's not the same, right? And
and we're
the whole streaming thing, it's like, at first I was like, okay, cool, but now it's just,
yeah,
it's like a bittersweet, because it's like you do the stream, but then you're like, I wish there were people, I wish they were there. And even if it's like one person every 2 seats or whatever, or there's a lot, like there could be even police people there to make sure that everyone's in their place and blah, blah, blah. But this is important. And it's also important for the community, for our souls, because we can touch people, we can be close to people, but we can even still be close and live the same thing. And there's an emotion, there's love in there that our society desperately need. Not more screen time, community,
no, please.
attachment.
No, and the problem too with the live stream. Well, I've been with my little flag, if you want, or my little mission of denouncing that live stream doesn't pay. It's really difficult to make money there, and there's a lot of stuff for free. You go, artists giving their stuff for free. Spotify paying artists, they're paying 0.0003 per click. I mean, and that's another way that the government could by doing laws about this kind of thing, that laws that are more favorable to paying artists, that's how the government could potentially also help artists and really give the money to the people who are creating. It's good. Spotify, it's a great invention, but at the end, it has to be fair too for people to who are giving their work and their hours of practice.
I completely agree with you, but I think the most important thing that we cannot forget about is that I think now the government's realizing, like, sorry, oh shit, the artists and the cultural scene needs to also have EI. For years, there was no EI here.
Yes.
Insurance.
Yeah, insurance, yeah.
Because we were deemed as, enough or whatever.
Hippies.
No, we need insurance. We need, and not just the minimum to survive. We need, if there's no work because of XYZ, we need our government to help us.
Yeah.
We need our government to help us. How? I don't know how people, and I'm one of the lucky ones that I'm aware, because I don't have children. I have a rent and living, right? But it's like, I can only imagine people who have children and family to take care of, or elderly, or people who are sick. Like, it's just not fair. Like, if you look at all the different places of work, it's not fair. Nobody's paying for my salary if I get sick. If I get sick and I miss a show, there's no salary.
No, exactly.
But like but if you're sick at work and you're like, well, you go sick, you still get paid, So I don't know. I know there's a lot of things I also don't know about politics and stuff like that. So I don't want to seem like I'm talking and like I know things. I know certain feelings and I know certain things.
Yeah.
And
no, but I mean, that's your perspective, and it's
and I want to keep the conversation open, but I really want the government to really place culture on a higher level than what it is, because right now it's at the bottom. And as I said at the beginning, we will do with so little, but please help us, give us a chance.
Yeah. All right. A very, very complete response from your part. Thanks a lot. And well, I guess let's jump into the opera, the opera, and then your career, because you were at least
I was
big.
like,
If you're, yeah, well, like everybody, you were in ascension. This is
yeah.
so so tell us a little bit. You won the third prize at Operalia. Another competition. Like you're good at competitions, basically,
I don't
and
think so.
I think so.
Funny because it's not because I win one competition that I'm good at all competition, you know. You
Look
know
at
how
the.
many competitions I've done? A lot. But people just remember the one I won.
Well, yes, of course, but also you have to look at the percentage rate of winning a competition. It's ridiculous. Like it's I kind of calculated, and my conclusion was it's around less than 1% chances.
Yeah.
If you count the pre-screening, like when you have to send the CD or the tape or whatever, the video. Uh, so yeah, and winning Operalia, I mean,
It's actually, I was on the waiting list for Operalia.
you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
I wasn't even accepted for the pre-screen. They're like, yeah, you're good, but And so I was in a waiting list, and some person, who knows, like couldn't make it. And I was like, hi. No.
so what do you think made them change their mind from waiting list to third place? I mean,
Oh, there's a very clear answer, and I went through major vocal change, and it's
really?
not
Okay.
major, but it's just like I found another technician that helped me deal with my flaws, the stuff that I've been wanting to work with, my sore spots, which was especially like my top and the homogeneity.
Yeah, the equality of the voice and the
Just like the quality of the voice from top to bottom,
yeah.
just to have it more secure. And then also I kind of really, sorry to say, but I really decided to have the balls to sing the repertoire that I want to sing, that I'm meant to be singing, which is slightly bigger repertoire, and not be apologetic about it, because for a while I was kind of in this little bubble where it felt like I should sing a certain type of roles and certain type of repertoire, which I still can, and I still love to sing that. But where the voice really thrives is in a bigger, like just more,
Yeah.
And so that's when for sure, because when I got the call, the email saying that I was accepted finally to Operalia and they invited me to Lisbon. I went there and I sang my new repertoire, stuff that I didn't really sing, the stuff that I didn't send before, like a new stuff.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, that's different. Okay. And one of the things, like one of the comments from Placido Domingo was that he did not like the huge shift in the voice and the maturity and the strength and the alignment of the voice was just so great from because we've done a show together like 6 months prior. We did Lisa Miller at the Met.
Lisa Miller, okay.
Yeah. And so he just saw in such a short time like huge kind of improvement, and so that happened.
So it's funny that you are talking about this, because today I saw but she's kind of it's kind of not weird, but like strange that you've been doing all this light mezzos basically from Mozart. And then I saw that you also did like the Mahler's what is that leader with orchestra? Yes, which is more alto-ish, and then also this mezzo role that you're gonna be singing with in the future with the Met in 2021. It's more of a full mezzo as well as the excerpt that we were trying to show at the beginning. And I said it's like I'm not sure which one she is, so
why can't I be everything? That's something that, and I have to say, that's something that bothers me so much. I'm saying it in live right now, because for so long it's like, yes, but you have to do this, and now you're like, this, and now you're this. And I'm like, I've never fitted any box in my life and in my vocal life, right? That's why it was a problem. I was trying so hard to fit in a box and it didn't work. When I just, you know, decided to let the walls crumble, and this is like, whoa, I can sing this. And yes, I can sing Terlina and Carmen in the same season. Yes, I can do. What I can do is sing Terlina at the Met and Carmen at the Met. I can sing Terlina at the Met and Carmen in Cologne. I can sing Carmen in Vancouver and Charlotte in Antwerp. I can sing, you know, you have to be clever like that. And the thing with competition, and especially with Dalila, sometimes it's not about showing repertoire that you're going to do right now. It's showing flashy stuff that really puts your voice in the spotlight. And Dalila, yes, will I sing it today? Absolutely. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe in a couple of years in a small theater. That's how people, you don't just like wake up one day and then you go sing Dalila at the Met. You have to have it, you know, it's a muscle. You have to have it done a few times, which is now why I'm starting to do Carmen and I'm starting to do Charlotte in good places, but not the Met, not, you know, Munich, not Paris, you know?
Yeah, like easier, smaller opera houses where you can...
Also where they have a relationship with the people and it doesn't give you the right to fuck up. It just gives you... It lets you breathe a little bit. Right?
No, but it's a place also. Like, I mean, the Met requires like heftier voice in most cases. Like it's a...
No.
No, you don't think so?
I personally don't think I have a hefty voice. You just have to really know how to use your voice. And especially, I've heard Nathalie Dessay in her prime years at the Met singing Lucia, and she sounded bigger than the bass, who's like, you know. And she doesn't have a big voice, but she knows how to use her body. And it's about projection. No, it's about projection. It's not about strength. It's about projection, and really, it's about technique. You know. But what I really want to come back to is that Mozart, Rossini, Handel is always going to be part of me. I love Mozart. And don't get me wrong, like Mozart is way harder than bel canto, in my humble opinion. You know, people are like, yeah, you learn Mozart first, then you go to Bellini or Donizetti. Absolutely not. Get your voice going, get your technique going with Donizetti, Rossini, and blah, blah, blah. Then get to Mozart. Mozart is extremely hard, and it's a lot of pressure to put on young singers. Good young singers will know how to sing it. Now I love Mozart. Are you kidding me? I have one Mozart a year or 2 or 3. Like my last 6 first months of my 2019 season was just Mozart. Singing Mozart in a world premiere, you know? So a good singer can sing everything or most things, you know? And then you just need a different angle when you start to sing like Mahler or just bigger, more grounded stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a different voice. It's just, okay, how do I approach this with this angle, right? And also you have to also understand that I sang that piece from the Erde with a chamber orchestra, not full orchestra.
Okay.
Lieder eines fahrenden Gesellen last weekend or 2 weekends ago with the Montreal Symphony with chamber orchestra, not full orchestra. Does it mean I can't sing full orchestra? No, I will be able to sing it, but I wanted, you know, the head of the festival said, you know, you've never done it. Let's give it to you. Small chamber orchestra, #COVID friendly. And it's your first time. You know, you build these things. You have to build, but you have to dip your feet somewhere and somehow and someday. You can't just like, oh, I've done Mozart and Rossini all my life. And then all of a sudden you go sing, you know, big piece in a big stage. At least that's how I want my career to go. I want to always play it safe.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the most sage way, you know, like more is more relaxing like that. Let's say that way.
That's why last season I had 3-4 Mozart role, 1 Carmen, 1, and then another, you know, a world premiere, and like Lola or whatever.
So know? the Carmen is it the are we talking about the Pacific Opera? Or the Victoria Opera?
The Carmen I did was in Cologne.
Okay, that the last season.
Actually, this year I was supposed to do Carmen in Vancouver Opera.
Yeah, Is that still happening? Because I got a communique today saying that they are doing something live, like streaming, the same streaming thing that we were talking about.
So the thing is, most live opera, now that the COC just announced their
Yes,
it's done. We're done. There's no opera. We're pretty much like the States in that regard. There's no live opera for the rest of this year. So
yeah.
What Vancouver did was initially push it back to January, but there's the government and whatever reason we can't do it. So it's supposed to be pushed in the future year, maybe next year, maybe not. I don't know. Nothing to tell you.
Okay. I just wanted to take a second, actually, Rihab, to say hi to the people that are watching, and to encourage them to comment, and to, if they have any question, any comment that they would like to
They go on Facebook.
I can see them here, and I have like a chat aggregator type of thing. So if the people are watching on my La Scena Musicale Facebook, or the Don Adriano Facebook, they can comment there, and then I see them, or even in YouTube, I see them here in the little screen that I have. That's why I go sometimes off like that, because I'm trying to see if there's any comments for the artist normally, and I have some comments already. I'll pass them to you already. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm sorry. Ayaki says, "Well said, Rihab. You're beautiful as always."
Hi, Aya. She's actually a friend from childhood.
Wow, great.
So good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, hi, Taras Coolish is watching too.
Of course.
He says, great voice and person.
It's really appreciated.
And Valérie Poisson.
We're doing the Messiah with Orchestre Classique de Montréal in December, and in December, and hopefully that's one that will not get canceled. But if it does, we still have a procedure to have it streamed. So
yes,
hats off to Taras for arranging all of that.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's gonna happen. I try to be positive about it, but I really don't know. I'm like my heart says we're gonna go back, and my mind says another thing, kind of stuff,
I think there's a song that goes like that.
Yeah, I think it's
my mind says yes, and my heart say no. My heart say no, and my heart say I don't know.
Is it an Adele song?
No, I think it's TLC.
TLC, oh wow. Back, you're taking me back.
Destiny's Child, one of the two.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the particularly the Destiny's Child, I think.
Oh yeah. No, it's really, honestly, I've kind of given up kind of predicting the future, because we're so stressed. There's so many shit that's going on that I didn't even not expect this curveball of this confinement in Quebec. I did not expect that. So
no.
There's no point. There's absolutely no point. What we can do is raise our voices, talk to people. I talk to all my neighbors to, just to tell them what's happening, because they're clueless. They don't know what's happening for us,
Yeah.
They have their job. They continue to work. They don't know that it's affecting so many, thousands of people. And keep trying to keep the motivation to work, and to keep our craft going, and try new things.
So how are you personally like dealing with this? Like because I asked this because I saw of course I follow you in Instagram, and I saw that you were doing the Tim Hof method. The Tim Hof is Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Yeah, Wim Hof method. And so I guess are you following this kind of stuff for real, or it's just one day like that?
Funny is that, so this is crazy, because end of February, early March, I was in Geneva, and I was sick, and I don't know what, but it was something I've never experienced before. I mean, I've been sick before, and I've had the flu, and I've had the cold, whatever. But I've never felt this thing where I slept 15 hours straight and not move my body. For 3 days, I was in bed. I had to cancel rehearsals. And I made a post about it. I was like on Instagram, like, how can I, like, I've never, does someone knows, or, and I actually even said, like, did someone have something like this? Like, is this some kind of flu going on? Anyway, I don't think I have it because I don't think I had COVID because I did a serology test to see if I've ever had it. I've never had it. Thank God. But a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, Joshua Guerrero, who's a wonderful tenor in LA, sent me this message saying, I've been doing this breathing technique, which combined with cold shower therapy, has made him not be sick in years. And at that point, I'm really not into like guru vibe or voodoo or, kind of like eat celery juice for 2 weeks and you'll live forever. Like, that's not really my vibe.
Really?
Oh, have you tried the celery? I'm sorry. How was that? Tell us about it. Are you drinking celery juice right now?
No, so funny.
No, like, everybody do their thing, but I'm just like, I want facts and I want, but so I know that you have to have a good immune system, not only to be a singer, because when do I get sick? It's usually when it's time of transitions, travel, packing, moving, change of climate, change of time zone, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I looked it up. I was like, okay, this guy is crazy, obviously, but there's something going on about it. And the thing, what not bothered me, but sold me, is that he's like, you have the power within you, right? So and I said, okay, let's try it, because worst case scenario, I'm annoyed because I took a 1 minute cold shower and I'm freezing my balls, and but it's 1 minute, so I can move on with my life. And the other thing is just air. I can't, like, what bad can air do, right? So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. That was amazing. Like, it was amazing because you can get such a head rush and such a rush from this breathing exercise, which has to be, there's like certain rules, and he really tells these rules clearly, but there's certain rules to follow to be safe, but it's just air. And then you feel tingling in your body, you feel so alive. And I've tried it only that without drinking coffee, and I did not need coffee after that. Plus that, like, these breathing technique, plus the cold shower every day.
So you're doing that like since then?
Since February, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I can hold my breath almost 3 minutes, like 2 minutes and 55 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And it's good as well. I felt like it really helped as a singer, my breath hold, like my how long I can go without breathing,
Yeah,
there's a few following, like, in the opera world, there's a few singers I know that are into that, but honestly now it has been proven how cold shower, cold therapy, giving your body a shock, stimulates our reptilian brain, which is basically kind of our survival mode, Now we're too comfortable and we're getting soft and we're getting and then it's too slow. So getting that cold shower, especially in the morning, kind of brings us back to like the animal side, brings us back to nature, brings us back to that, okay, let's go, whoa, because you're stuck there. So you can't just like go, you have to like, and then use your breath.
Yeah.
Calm you down. Because that guy, Wim Hof, can stay in a ice bath for hours,
Yes.
He was injected Ebola and he made himself he cured himself with his breath. Like, okay, that's another, I don't want to get into that, but I definitely know that it cannot harm you. It could only make you feel better. So I thought, when COVID happened and all that stressful things happened, my dose of breathing and my annoying shitty cold shower just made the day better, because then I'm like kind of ready to take on everything, and cold shower therapy is as old as time, that's why you have sauna cold.
Yeah, and a lot, like particularly Italians, they are really cheap with their electricity, so sometimes
that's true. But he also Wim Hof also talks about, the constriction of society, like shoes, or bras or whatever. So which is why, like, during the confinement, didn't wear any shoes and didn't wear any bra, and just be a human being, be who you were meant to be on earth. If you have to go out, and yeah, of course you put shoes on, and bras at your own discretion. But like, really, it's just about reconnecting with your body,
Right.
and our kind of animal being.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've tried it myself. I've discovered this the same guy, Winhoff. I discovered him like 5 years ago.
Okay. So you're
But
back.
I did it. I did it for some time, but like any of those things, like I just cannot bring myself to do them like for longer than I think the first time I did it like about 6 months. And but I have to recommend it also for everybody, particularly in these times. The
Yeah.
cold showers, I do that sometimes as it is. The breathing is it's funny, the breathing technique, because my experience with that was that I was amazed at one point. I could hold my breath. I didn't know I could. The first time I did the exercise, I did like yeah, near 3 minutes without breathing right after doing the exercise, and I'm like, I'm capable of this. I didn't know I was capable of this. And it's crazy when you think about it, like how much of the body and what we can do and we can't is really a mental construct, that we have of the world, and the vision we have of ourselves and all that.
That's exactly it. Like, you just, hit the nail right there on its head. It's like we are only using so little, not only of our brains, but of our body, of our natural immune body. Like, immune system is meant to be strong. Our bodies are meant to regenerate and heal themselves. They don't want to get sick. A sick body is just, it's always like it's we're having how do you say anti, no, not like, we're having inflammatory diseases because we're putting inflammation inside of our body. We're breathing inflammation, we're eating inflammation, right? So our body is constantly fighting that inflammation, fighting, so it's driving our immune system, like, go 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 go. But then the immune system shuts down when it's always on, like, on speed to try to fight off all these pathogens. So you have to, like, and coming back to this longevity of this exercise, is that I started pairing. So 2 years ago, just before Operalia, I've had like a massive nervous breakdown. I didn't sing for 3 months. I almost stopped singing. But what really put me back into it, and especially helped me with my nerves, because what really bothered me at the time was I still couldn't find a way to deal with my nerve, my stage anxiety and stage
Yeah.
all of that. And so I started meditating. A friend of mine, Simon Iorio, and we met at Blind Board my first time there, and he's wonderful, wonderful stage director. And he recommended me that. He said, why don't you meditate? And I was like, meditation, like, whatever.
That's
Four
for little
years later,
little girls. That's not
four
for
years
me.
later, I was like, you know what is it? It doesn't cost me any, like, it doesn't hurt to try. And I've been hooked almost every single day. And so adding the Wim Hof was not like a complete, it wasn't strange to me. I just added like 3 minutes, 5 minutes in my routine, in my morning routine, which is always, glass of water, my dog goes pee, then I meditate, then I do the Wim Hof first, and then when I'm like high on your own supply, then you go and do your meditation. But
That's great.
and then you're like, then you go up. You could have had a hungover, you could have had a shitty day, you could have a shitty night, didn't sleep well, but you had that rush of air, and then that stillness, and then it's like, you meet God every morning. Like,
Yeah.
not to sound like a weirdo, but honestly, it's air. It's air. And that's what bothered me, because I'm like, how can air do that? It's not a drug, it's not anything, it's not some kind of weird concept, it's just air. How you use your air. And it's beautiful. And actually, if you think about it, everyone listening right now, you can actually lower and lower your heart rate right now just by controlling your air. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and it's true. No, it's true. Well, not as scientific neither, but I've tried it myself, and it works. It just works. So yeah, check it out. It's Winhoff method, but I suspect he's not. He has to sell his product, so he kind of sells himself as the Iceman and some crazy stuff
But
like that.
I
But
mean,
he is crazy. He does what he, like he's not just like for the TV. He really.
no, but
Uh,
you know what really also touched me, and again, there's a lot of crazy people out there, but he had many kids with his wife who ended up killing herself. She committed suicide.
I didn't know this. Wow.
And that was the beginning of his journey of how can she have done that. She was always living, there was always something, she was always fighting against, she never, something, she never could find happiness, her body was always fighting. And when she killed herself, he was like stuck with 4 children as a only dad, and he needed to find a cure for her in a way, even though she wasn't there. But that was the beginning of his journey and his path. And so he's a lot to take, and he's a lot to understand, like it's hard to understand sometimes, but there's an energy about him, and he's like 70 something, but he has so much energy. And he like hiked or ran the Himalaya and the Mount Everest in shorts.
Yeah, no, crazy. Yeah.
Like this guy has such a control of his body and of his immune system that it's unbelievable. And again, it's your air. There's nothing he sells. What he sells is, he has an app, which is I think like $2.99, whatever. I took the app because I wanted to like try it out, and I thought 99 cents, okay. But then once you have that, you don't need anything, because it's the same stuff every day. It's just breathing and cold shower. Then what he sells is these kind of retreat in his home
That's the business. Okay, yeah.
in the Netherlands, and he has a home in near a mountain in Poland, in the cold, in the mountain. And but now everything's closed, right? So
Yeah.
I thought one day if I had like 5 days or something else, I'd love to go, because then
Really, you would go?
of course, the end of your trip, you go and climb that Polish mountain in your shorts and a bikini. I mean, how cool! Sign me up.
I don't know if I would sign for that one, but good luck.
I'll definitely let you know. Instagram will know about that when that happens.
That would be funny. Yeah. No, definitely. It's anyways. So after that, are you vocalizing still in these times? Are you keeping busy? What are you? Is there something that you're working on, like a role or?
Well, yeah. So I mean, I just did the concert. I'm very like, I'm like a horse sometimes. And I have these. How do you call these things?
Comment ça s'appelle? Ça me vient.
En français, c'est des œillères, je
Ouais,
pense.
las orejeras en español.
Blindfold. I know, whatever that thing.
Yeah.
I have like, I'm very like project driven, and so when I have a project coming up, it's like that and only that. I'm having a hard time multitasking. But when I have a bit of time, I like to multitask on many different things. And so, I was really focused on the Mahler, and that went really well, and I was really happy. And now, so now I'm actually going to Ontario tomorrow morning to do a few little projects. One of them, actually 2 of them, I cannot say. It does involve the TSO, the Toronto Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what I can say. And
it's probably against the grain. I'm gonna say it's with against the grain.
Yes, it's 2 of them. So yeah, 2 of them is against the grain and TSO, and then the other one is a little flashback with against the grain. And so I'll let you all in suspense. And the other one is just with my friend Amber Braid, and I've met Amber in the COC Ensemble together. We did the COC Ensemble together, and she started doing a little like concert series that's outside, a bit like Blindborn, but version Ontario.
Okay.
And she asked me to do the one on the 26th of September, but I had the concert with the Montreal Symphony, and so I said let's do the next one. So now I'm going to be a big chunk of my October in Ontario.
Look, so okay, and that will happen.
Well, Nothing is for sure
We
now.
don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I stopped caring, honestly, Adrian. I
You
just
do like it's if it's gonna
doing it,
go and that's it.
I'm gonna go, and that's it. I can't, because then we don't live. Then you
Yeah,
don't live. Then I don't even have the will to practice anymore, and I can't
yeah,
live.
right.
I can't. Maybe a lot of people can. I can't. I need to have. You know what I realize is like when you're doing a show, right? You've worked so hard, then you're in rehearsal. So your adrenaline levels are quite high all the time, but they're constant, right? Then you do sometimes you have a show premiere and then you have a peak down, but it goes back because you have shows, right? But it's quite high. And this pandemic had made me realize I have so much like pent up adrenaline that no amount of work, like physical work or physical attention or anything will quite come closely to what it is to perform.
Yeah.
We haven't been performing since February, March, you know? And so I had few projects here and there. And so, my last concert, it was like, bah! And then massive crash, So I don't want to live through that anymore. It's not a mental disease, but it's like it's too hard on my psyche and my body to go through these massive roller coasters. So you know what? I've given up the idea of like, what if it's not going to happen, and what if. I have my work, and no matter what, if it's gonna happen now, if it doesn't happen now, it's gonna happen in 2 months. And if it doesn't happen in 2 months, you bet I'm gonna make it happen in a year. Because I'm not giving up, right? You can't go like I can't go like that. Just like, oh, but what if it doesn't happen? I don't want to learn this for nothing and blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how can you? Yeah, yeah.
Be positive. And so after that, do you want to hear something funny? Is that I have a recital coming in November, and this is the third time that's been reported, like been pushed. So
Ay, ay,
that was supposed to be in April, canceled. They pushed it to October 18th, canceled. They pushed it to November 29th. They're not
mm.
giving up on me, and I'm not going to give up on them. So
No,
I
no.
have my repertoire, and I have a great program to present, and it just gives me more time to refine it.
Yeah, no. That's what's great about it. I guess that's a.
But the sad thing is, this year, now that the Met is canceled and everything else is canceled, the only opera that I still have in my books is the Charlotte in Antwerp.
Ah, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, because
What?
they haven't announced their seasons because they're playing it by
Yeah, yeah.
year. They're announced like bit by bit because they don't want to be teasing and be like, look at our season. Oh, haha, just kidding, cancel everything.
Just kidding. Very funny joke.
Exactly, like. So they're like, okay, let's work like by every 1 month or 2 months, and so they're slowly releasing their season. So they haven't released it, but it is in I have a contract, so I should be doing it. And yeah, so it's a concert version of Werther in Antwerp in April.
Will this be the first Charlotte? Oh wow. Okay.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's one of the big pants role kind of thing, you know.
No, it's not a pants roll at all. It's a
No,
woman.
no, big pants like big
Oh,
pants to
big
say or
baby.
big
Oh, yeah, yeah,
skirts or like big
big baby.
time, you know.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. So, big fat lady sings. She sings.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
She sings. But I've done the arias and I've done the big duet. I'm redoing the big duet, and I'm there. I'm there. I'm telling you, I have all this energy, all this like, like just do it. There's nothing that's gonna stop me from singing that role.
Hmm. And there's another future production with the this time with the Met the that you have for 2022 if I don't mistake is the Akhenaten.
Ach, nothing.
Have you? This is an opera, a contemporary opera by Philip Glass, and I was wondering about that. Have you started like learning that because it's extremely difficult music and crazy, really like bombastic production, really.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it, and that was even before I knew I was going to get the role of Nefertiti. But I was like, oh my God, what is happening? It's so cool. And why there's a naked man, and oh my God, all the juggling. And it's just, but you know what? This is what the Met does best. And I love that because they're introducing new like contemporary opera, still composer that are still alive to an audience. I mean, Philip Glass, he's a god, and especially in New York, Philip Glass is wonderful. I've done. It's not going to be my first Philip Glass opera.
Okay, I didn't know.
I've done Satyagraha in Antwerp as well.
Oh.
And vocally, it's not that it's difficult. What's difficult, you have to be a crazy good musician. Yeah. Because one little like brain fart and you're done. You missed the train. It's like, there's no like la li la and I take my time and I'm a diva. No, there's none of that. Everybody has their place and everybody has their register, and everybody, there's like a mechanical, mathematical way structured to Philip Glass. And I would say I didn't start learning the role. I, of course, listened to it and looked at the score. It's very similar to his other mezzo roles. Like I was Gandhi's wife in Satyagraha. And it's very low. It doesn't really go high. It's very low, but he's looking for a color. He doesn't look for anything. He looks for color and for artistry, because there's only so much you can show when you're repeating the same note for 12 pages, right? So it's about artistry, especially color, that he's looking for that in his roles.
And from your experience, so you work directly with him when you were doing the other operas that you did?
No. He didn't. Because actually they were doing Satyagraha at the same time in LA, and he went to LA because it's closer to home.
Right. And now this one, do you know anything about the rehearsal? Is he going to be there at one point? And
no,
you don't know anything.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, I always assume not, and if they end up coming, it's like, yay. It's like a nice added bonus, but I never assume that, unless you're doing a world premiere, and I've done a few, then you need the composer there, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Philip Glass, he's an institution right now.
Yeah.
He does need to be at every single,
Yeah, and he's getting there too in terms of age.
The teacher in McGill worked very closely with Philip Glass and John Adams, and so he met him and he knew them personally.
Oh, okay, wow. And okay, so my question too is about learning this score. How in the past, how were you able, for example, because it's so repetitive, the music, that I guess at one point, like, wouldn't you fall like hypnotized at one point? You know what I mean? And then like, oh shit, like I didn't enter,
Yeah.
And then what did you do?
I always thought, like, did he do that to like fuck with us? Because as an audience member, that's the result. That's what you want when you go and listen to a Philip Glass opera. It's not like for the beautiful lines. It's like you get into this weird trance. I really think that Philip Glass and Wim Hof should meet, because there's a very trance-like feel to both of them, because it's like that breathing of like that extra breathing, and the same like it's just like whoa. But as an artist, you cannot get on that whoa feeling. You have to be a machine. And that's why Philip Glass, it's not about really the voice, it's about the rhythm. And I only spoke the words on rhythm for months before I've sang even any note, because the notes are like it's notes.
So when you're not singing, are you actually counting? Yeah, okay, you're actually counting.
Do you know what's funny? It's like my background, like, as born in Tunisia, I grew up with a lot of drums, and rhythm is really in our family. My family, my mom, my aunt, they play the darbuka, which is like tam tam, the djembe, and so everybody got the rhythm. So even if we're not singing, like, I can feel it, and I can like feel the syncopation to the rhythm. So rhythm was never, thank God, like, it was never a problem for me. I always loved that, pa, 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 pa. You always find like a fluidity, and I always found a fluidity in Philip Glass that was kind of cool. But everybody's different, so. But rhythm, number one. And if you're a young singer and you're starting and you're not really good with the rhythm, just keep counting.
Yeah, definitely. And well, yeah. So that would be the role of Nefertiti. And well, I invite everybody to check that out. I discovered that opera today.
Really?
Yes, I didn't know about it. I don't know how this passed under my radar, because I mean it's just bombastic, and they just did it 2 years ago. I don't know how I didn't know about this.
Wow.
Last year, yeah. So 19, yeah, 1920. Yes, yes.
And I get to sing with Anthony Roth Costanzo again.
Yeah.
We've met in 2012 when I was the second cast of in Toronto. I was the second cast of the production of Semele by Handel. He was first cast and I was second cast, and we worked together. And he's such a great energy. He's an amazing businessman and an amazing artist. And so when I knew I would be doing it, like when I knew I'd be doing the role, but with him again, I was like, yay.
Yeah. Well, he actually he kind of owns the role almost, like.
Yeah.
It's like if you do that opera, you have to do it with this guy as the countertenor.
There's a generational, there's one Ahmed at the time. There's no like many, and he's done that production a few times now. So
yeah, my kind of worry or inquietude with that role is that I, at least in the recordings, I hear that the orchestra is somewhat thick, even when the countertenor is singing, and as we know, most countertenors don't have like a super powerful voice. So I was surprised, that to be able to hear him on top of the orchestra and everything. I don't know if you can.
That's exactly what I said earlier. It's not about the big voice; it's about projection. That's why you can hear certain small voiced people, but you hear them all the way back, and you don't hear someone who's 6'5" and just brr, 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 and it's dies, right? It's how you use your voice. It's not about the power of the strength. It's about how you use your body and your voice.
Yeah, yeah. And coming back to Canada, a question that came to me is like, you did the COC ensemble, you did some operas there, Metropolitan, but have you sung yet with Opera de Montréal, and why we don't see you around in Opera de Montréal? Like I just can't understand. Is this something that is just hasn't worked, or I don't know.
Just I had lunch with Patrick Corrigan a few months ago when I was here, actually in January, and we talked, and it was so lovely, and he's truly like an amazing person, and honestly there's just nothing for me, or if there was, I was busy. It's all about timing. It's like relationships. It's like when someone's ready doesn't mean you're ready that the other one is ready for you, and that's the same thing. It's the same thing. But it will happen, I know, and it's just, I can't have everything. I'm doing well, and Montreal will always be my home, and something in the future will happen. It's just we need to find the right project. It's just he can't just slap me to any mezzo roles.
Yeah. So there's nothing
to me.
So there's nothing that what I understand is there's nothing yet concrete there.
Not yet, no.
All right.
But it's okay. Like home can also be just that, just home.
No, I'm talking from the auditor type of perspective.
I like my audience to travel with me.
Yeah.
I do. I have great friends who wherever I go, they go, and like hats off to them. But yeah, of course. But I sing. This is my second concerto with the symphony, and I'm doing. It's a few times I'll be singing with Orchestre de Montréal, and I have this recital. Like I'm here, especially now. Like
Yeah, no, that's true too. Yeah, you can see, we can see you in concerts and all
Now that
that.
I'm here, come and see my stuff, because then I'll be gone.
Well, we'll hope it does. We'll hope it's not in live stream. You know.
Yeah,
Because-
I'm just kidding.
so, so I wanted, of course, before before we end the interview, we have to talk about Carmen. So I guess we should jump into that now. Um, a year ago, I think already, I interviewed you a lot and asked a lot of questions about Carmen. We spent quite a bit of time, and I thought, I mean, your point of view was fresh at least, and so I would like to now that you did it, you did your first Carmen. I would like to discuss with you maybe things that you didn't know from the character that now you think differently, or uh, has your vision on that opera changed at all, and what do you think of it?
Um, well, it's the thing is the production I've done, the one in Cologne was a new production by, I think, a wonderful stage director. But her vision was that Carmen was this very kind of orange is the new black kind of girl, like, you know, she's a bad person.
Okay, yeah.
So this is what the production was like. She was a really bad person, and she had a lot of anger and disgust and violence in her. But people they're not born like that. You know, shit happens to them, and then
Yeah.
they become like that. So then slowly throughout the opera, you kind of see a few things, and you understand why she acts like that. You understand why she's like a bulldog, you know, always like ready to bite. And I thought it very interesting, I'm a very physical person. I like to do. I'm very active, so I thought it was a cool challenge. What I didn't quite not understand, but didn't quite like, was that it was too much like gas pedal, like the pedal, the gas pedal.
Yeah, pedal to the metal.
Too much about the anger and the and chest and physic, and we miss the why people are in love with her. We miss why she's so enchanting to men, you know. And she needs to have both, you know. Again, like you need to have, like, in people, men and women, you have masculine energy and feminine energy. Carmen has a lot of masculine energy. She's not manly, but her energy is like, she takes the space. She goes and gets what she wants, right? These are very masculine attributes. You know, she charges, she takes control, she's in charge. She says, no, you listen to me, you're going to do that, you know. And she manipulates, but she's still a woman. She still have these times where she's like, she dreams of a beautiful little house and a picket fence and a dog, and, like, you know. And it's nice to dream, but she knows that that's not her reality. She always dreams and comes back, and then that's why it's beautiful with Don Jose, is that she kind of have these moments, and then she's like, oh, you know. But then it's like, oh, it's Camille. He's like, oh, maybe I can be like the, you know, trophy wife. But you know, there's always this like, this, but you need to have both. You can't just like fuel on one energy or on one emotion or one feeling. You need both. And yeah, that's why I think it was interesting to have that point of view where she's just very tough, like prison. And I really literally had a prison outfit, like this, like khaki
Yeah.
green with army boots, you know. It was like, yeah, Spanish Tomb Raider or whatever. And it was just even the outfit was like, just the way I needed to walk was like, you know, GI Jane. And I like the thought, but not all the time. Not all the time. In a few places. But then she needs to come back to her. You know, she's not a sorry little lamb who's like, she's got really bad things done to her, so now she has to put a big front, you know. It's like, no, she's much more in touch with her emotions, you know. That's one. And yeah, and the production I did, I killed myself.
Ah.
You know, I took the knife because he didn't have the guts to kill me. And I was like, you don't have the guts to kill me. I will do it for you. So I took the knife. I opened my mouth like the Joker. You know, the Joker just got released at that point. So it was very, So I slashed my face like this, and then I just kind of harakiri myself, and it was just like, okay, I didn't I get the point of why the director would ask me and how someone could get to that point, but for me, Carmen would be like, it's more, she's much more into herself. She's much more here, and she's like, I know there's no way out. So okay, let's do this, but I'm gonna do this on my term, and I'm gonna offer myself to you, and that's the
Mm.
end of duet. Like she's like, do it. I'm here. You
Yeah.
either do it or you leave me alone. You have two choices, not three, not four, not five. I don't want to be with you. You kill me or you leave me alone. You choose. And
Hmm.
that's the higher road, but that's a masculine energy. But then she's still a woman who loves, who laughs, who have friends, who, you need both, like in anybody, everyone, men and women, need both.
So you think well, I think maybe not to put words in your mouth, but like is it what you're saying that maybe that role is too much, is played maybe too much, just opinion wise, as a masculine type of role, like she's imposed. Like I've never seen really a production where she's not that kind of person, like a kind of imposing uh, femme fatale type of thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it's interesting because I've seen other production where it's like to like, "Whoa, look at my tits and look at here, and like I'm enchanting you now," and it's just, for me, it's just, okay, we get it, you're sexy, like, but sexy people, or generally, like, they don't like show you that they're sexy, like if femme
Mm.
fatale, she doesn't know she is, she just is, right? She doesn't like say like, look, I'm doing this to you. So I agree, I just, there needs to be, Carmen is too much it's too much in our culture, like everyone's like, oh yeah, pa 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 pa, so they know that like idea, but it's how to do it well, how to do it realistically, how to do it convincingly, because nobody's like that in life unless you're in jail. I don't know anybody in jail, and so you need to have a more, mm, something that people understand more, and can see themselves in. That's why I
Yeah.
think it's beautiful, especially the dynamic of Don Jose and Carmen. It's like, when does something kind of, weird, like, relationship goes wrong? Because I personally know stuff that's like, wow, that guy's a bit like possessive, or like, wow, she's playing with him a little too much, and then, but when does that go wrong? When it becomes, when there's actually like femicides, and there's violence, but
Mm.
there is violence, it just doesn't, it's not as caricatural as Carmen, but I think we should take the caricature of Carmen, we should take the caricature out of Carmen and add a bit more verismo.
Yeah.
You have to also understand that it was an opera comique,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. We
know?
forget. Yeah.
Because all these, it's all very funny and light-hearted, and light, a light,
Well, the first scene already, or one of the first scene where she throws the flower. I think that's very difficult to do, because it's kind of the guy's there, and it's like kind. It always looks to me like if the Don Jose is kind of waiting for her to throw the flower, but I mean he doesn't know she's gonna do that, and it's always very, for some reason, most of the production I've seen, it kind of fails that part, because it's kind of
that's
okay.
the
She's
problem,
going her.
because he's waiting and he shouldn't. Don Jose is actually a very sweet boy. He's young. He's maybe not young in age, but he's young here. He's a very inexperienced guy who comes from the suburb. Not that all suburb men are inexperienced, right? Bear with me. Yes, he doesn't know. He just gets to his spot, and this is what I need to do. And the other people who've been there for long, they're like, yeah, this is Carmen, whatever. Just, but he doesn't know, and she loves that. She loves that sweetness. She loves that innocence. She can have any man she wants. That's not the goal. It's the hunt. It's getting the guy who is not attracted to her. He's not giving her attention. Her throwing the flower got his attention. You know, it's like, yeah, it's just like, I give you a little, like, it's basically she gave him a little crumb.
Yeah.
Or hook, and it's like, that's it. That's it. A flower, and she's dead.
Yeah, and then exactly. Yeah, it's that's when it's in even the theme from the kind of the La Maledizione type of theme is there. You know, the fatality.
I mean,
Yeah.
also, like, look, he's like the girl who he loves and supposed to marry, like Michaela, so sweet. You know, they're all so sweet and this, and then he comes in the big wolf den, and he doesn't know he's in the wolf's den. You know, there's really, that's what people forget. This Don Jose he's mentally ill. He becomes mentally ill. And people, you know, when people say, oh, I'm not jealous, that person made me jealous. You know, this is totally like human behavior. It's just,
Yeah.
it's not opera. It's truly like people, there's roles, there's stories like that. And then people are not too good together because they tend to get violent with each other, you know? And it's like, well, yeah, he's just so sweet. He didn't ask anything. He didn't ask her to throw the flower, whatever. She was just like, hey, it's cute. He's not giving me attention. Who is that little hottie in that corner who's so silent and doesn't look at girls and is so good and looks like a good boy? Like, ooh, that could be my, you know, fun for the next month, that's what it was for her. It was just like, let's have fun, you know, let's not be so complicated. But he wasn't there. He's like, you gave yourself to me. It means more, at least where I come from. And so expectation comes in, and different expectation, and then timing, and then just, you know, and then he gets sick of it. He gets obsessed.
Yeah, and I wanted to add something actually about the gypsy nature of this, because I think some people well, I haven't seen the real gypsy type of take, where I don't know if you saw this. There was a TV program that was kind of real life with the gypsies, and then real life TV type of thing. And I saw it a couple of, and they are crazy, like culturally.
I've seen one that's like My Crazy Gypsy Wedding, which is like
Exactly
in the northern,
is that one? Yeah,
the northern, but it's in the UK, right? And these are like, are, you know, like Caucasian looking people, and they're wild. It's wild.
It's wild, and then that's why I said, okay, this is kind of in their culture. There culturally, they have some stuff that it needs to be like reflected upon a little bit more to come up with a character of Carmen. You know, like I could see one of for example, I could see one of these what you're saying, the My Gypsy Wedding, one of these young women being Carmen. You know, like just like that. You know.
Yeah, you know, as well. He doesn't come from where she comes from. That's also attractive enough. You know, like she doesn't want to get together when a guy from the gang. You know, she sees this youthful, young, innocent guy who looks so nice, and she knows he's gonna treat her so well until she treats him badly, until she's like, you know, I think this is now, you're a bit too much intense on me right now. Can you give me some space? And he's like, what do you mean space? Like, we're together, we're gonna be blah, you know. And but it's also interesting with the whole, you know, now that people are more open about rape, and it's like, oh, he's like, Don Jose is like, it's your fault, like you did this, and blah blah blah. And she's like, no, what did I do? You know, like I honestly feel like Carmen was always very clear with him. Flirtatious, flirting is flirting, but then she was very clear with him, you know. In Act 3, when they're in the woods, and she's obviously annoyed that he's still there. He's obviously hating his life there, and he's still there, and she's like, go. Michaela comes and she's like, come back to your mother. And he's like, no, I'm going to be miserable and stay here. And she's like, why on earth do you want to stay here? You know? Yet he still says it's your fault.
Yeah.
And that is mental illness.
Yeah, but it's interesting too because I mean it takes really both characters. That's what the dynamic. Because if he wouldn't be a sweet boy and he would be a more experienced type of guy, maybe he would have said, "Oh, fuck this Carmen, whatever. She's crazy. I'm going back home," you know. So it took kind of that kind of innocence to be like, maybe, you know, this is a theory.
No, but also, I
To
mean,
be like desperate for like it's almost like the fact that she's pushing him away, that's even more attractive to him, you know.
that's, I mean, daily couples are living this daily, this like codependence. You know, they're obviously not working, but they love that like they love conflict. They dwell in it. They love, and as long as there's conflict, they feel they're alive. You know, and maybe Carmen has that side too, where it's like always like in conflict. You know,
Mm,
but also they're both in conflict within themselves, you know.
yeah.
He's more of a bad boy that he'd like to pretend, and she hates the fact that she maybe would like to maybe be Michaela, you know.
Ah, you think that?
No, I'm not thinking, I'm just putting it out there. It could be. You know, I'd love to be a director one day. It could be. It's not about answering any questions, it's
So
about
what do you, okay, now you go to Michaela. What do you think of that character? For me, that character is so bland. Like I cannot understand.
Well, that's it. It's because it has been done bland. The music, the Michaela is a fake character that was not in the initial Mérimée novel, you know.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Oh, she didn't exist.
I
But
didn't know.
Opéra Comique de Paris commissioned Bizet to add a good Christian girl to the opera because you need to have a good Christian girl. You cannot have a brown gypsy. So that's what she came in and she sang Who's Beautiful. But you also have to think like that girl, like on her own, just like walked through the Pyrenees mountain alone without being raped, robbed, or anything, or killed, you know. And she sings in her aria, she's like, I'm with thieves and killers, but nothing scares me, you know. She's like, God will be on my side. And so she's a good girl, but I also like to, if I would do my own Carmen, nobody steals, huh? This is my idea. If I would be doing it, Carmen, in my staging, I would have her, you know, in Act 3 when she comes and she's like, hey, like Don Jose, and she follows them. Like she's creepy. She's also follows them. And I want her to have a clear confrontation with Carmen. It's actually not even about Don Jose anymore. It's her getting her man back. She's like, this is my man. And Carmen is like, fine, take him. But there's a confrontation there. You know, I think Michaela needs to have like, she has balls. She has bigger balls than he does because she's actually going to get him.
I know, no, she is. Yeah, it's amazing what she does, and like you say, it's a little bit even
There's
not
nothing
logical, but
there's nothing blend about her. She's a good girl. That's the only blend thing, but she's a good girl. But she wants him, and by God, I will bring him home, you know. And she knows that this woman is not good for him, and she knows, you know, but she needs more confrontational, but more confrontation. And most staging don't allow her. They just put her in a little like box again. Boxes.
the cute soprano box.
Yeah. And that's what I liked actually from the staging we did in Cologne, is that everybody had aggression, including Michaela, you know. And so Michaela was very sweet at the beginning, and she was like very, very sweet. But then when I came in her life, she was like, mm-mm. And she you know, she got into her own body and she got into her own life, and she's like, I'm gonna go get my man, you know. And then she gets rejected, and that's you know, horrible for her.
So, Rihab, what do you say if we share that video you sent me? I don't think it's around the web, so that's kind of
The Carmen?
yeah. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just gonna ask my technician, Brandon. You think that's gonna be all right? Brandon. Yes. Okay. So let's go. Which area is it?
It's the habanera. It's Carmen's
Habanera.
entrance aria that I've done with my wonderful friend and wonderful pianist Martin Dubé here in Montreal 2 years ago.
In the concours international, no? Okay. Okay, great. Let's go. Yes, that one, Brandon. Yes. Yes, please go.
Quand je vous aimerai, ma foi, je ne sais pas, peut-être jamais, peut-être demain, mais pas aujourd'hui, c'est certain. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle que nul ne peut apprivoiser, et c'est bien en vain qu'on l'appelle si lui convient de refuser. En effet, menace ou prière ne parle bien, l'autre se tait, et c'est l'autre que je préfère. Il n'a rien dit, mais il me plaît. L'amour est enfant de poème. Il n'a jamais, jamais cru de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. L'oiseau que tu croyais surprendre battit de l'aile et s'envola. L'amour est loin, tu peux l'attendre, tu ne l'entends plus, il est là. Tout autour de toi, vite, vite, il vient, s'en va, puis il revient. Tu crois le tenir, il t'évite, tu crois l'éviter, il te tient. L'amour est enfant de poème. Il n'a jamais, jamais connu de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, si je t'aime, prends garde à toi.
Hello, hello. Yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
Brava, brava.
Thank you. But it's so funny because you know, this 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I was like a baby. And after singing
Some
this,
nostalgia? No.
no, it's like, oh, that's I used to sing it like that. Like, oh, I used to do that, and now I do different things. And I definitely want to sing like a role, the role, you do things differently, or you sing it differently, you know? Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, what do you do differently now?
Like certain, you know, certain accent or
Okay.
certain like staging choices, or you know, I like to chest a bit more the à toi. I like to chest that a bit more because
Yeah.
I found a way to chest it, not but I found a way to chest nicely, you know. And so yeah, certain technical things as well, or but that's what it is. That's being a musician. You always grow. You always find ways to get better.
Yeah. Are you one of those singers that hates listening to themselves?
Yes. No,
Right.
I want to say hello. Just one more.
Oh, I was gonna ask about him.
Her.
Hello.
She's the Instagram star. She's
Hey,
like,
have you seen this baritone? Maybe you're friends with him. He has two dogs. Is it? Is it? What? He's an Italian baritone. He's very known.
of course, I got
Ah,
her because of him.
really?
Yeah, I was in love with Tristan. That's his name of the sausage.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
loved him. And I initially wasn't going to get a sausage, but then I saw his sausage and I'm like, oh my God, I need to have a sausage. And so now I have my own little sausage.
Yeah.
He's the cutest. But no, I really, to come back to what you said, I don't really like listening to myself. I've gotten better because now I've developed a more objective and analytical ear. Um, so now I feel like I'm fairer to myself when I'm like, oh, that was great, but that was not really good. Right? As before, I always had the negative
Yeah.
imposter syndrome, almost being like, oh my
Really?
God,
Okay.
I hated like looking at myself. And I think this is something you come with age as well. You're kinder to yourself, and you appreciate the good things, and then you take the bad things not badly, not like how dare I, but just like, okay, I did that, so with more of an analytical way, like how can I make that better next time.
Right. And singing better helps too.
Yeah,
I mean, you do get better too.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah, but isn't that crazy? You know that a performer of your level, and it's common in performance. You know, like even if I think about I'm a crazy tenor a gig. So like if you think about Corelli or even Pavarotti or Caruso, they were really hard on themselves, and some of them are extreme anxiety because of this constant judgment on their voice, and to be at that level and still be like not able to
Yeah,
get away from that a little bit, in some cases.
very much like a lot of, myself included, had a lot of singers, again myself included, had to go through sports therapy. I've done sports therapy in my last year at New York because it was debilitating. It was like I couldn't even sing. I was so anxious because I'm like, it's not going to be perfect. I don't want to, or I don't want to sing this because it's going to be so shit, even though it was good, but you're just so hard. We're just so hard on ourselves. And that's artists. We're already, you think the government can make us feel bad? No, we can make us feel bad already, so we're already so like we're martyrs on ourselves. So it's really good now that to have more of an analytical mind, and let's, like, I don't know how to say, but for example, the last concert, it was so weird because I've practiced everything and I've technically, and the music and German and everything, and then the concert arrived and I stepped and I was nervous, but I stepped and I opened my mouth and then I did not remember anything until I finished. Not that I mean, like, it just happened and I didn't overthink it. And I came out, I finished the last note and I was like, wait, what just happened? And it was so weird, but yet so beautiful. I felt like, I don't even know if it was good or bad. I was just so in the moment. And
Yeah.
never happened to me like that before. I had certain moments of being, in the music and everything, but always in control. But that time was like, I was in control, but so kind of, just give it to people. And one big thing that I've realized that came with meditation, that came with kind of thinking more inward, and that what I've realized is that people don't want me to suck. People are sitting there wanting to have a good time. And that's what I tell my students. And that's what I tell anyone who's like, how do you deal with nerves? I'm like, you have to deal with nerve by trusting that the people who got out of their bed, out of their home, put their kids to the nanny and blah, 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 did all of this so they can just enjoy, so they can just live through you, so you can give them a moment of of love and beauty and comfort. And that's when I started. It wasn't about me anymore. It was about them. It was about giving instead of like me receiving their judgment, you know?
Right.
So it's a shift in your vision and your a view. It's a shift in a point of view that just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, let's do this.
Mm. Great. And is that what you're describing there? Would it be like kind of what they call you were on this in the zone type of thing? I don't know if you've
Yeah,
uh, studied this kind of it comes from the sports psychologist, the state of being in the zone, and it's like a state that like what you're describing basically right now.
exactly that. It's exactly that. It's like I'm at my optimal level, and I'm hitting all the shots, yet I'm still having fun. And I have my own style. You know, a tennis player is like, he's hitting, like, he's not sweating. He's working, but he's like, he's in his zone. That's it. That's like, you know, when a very hard passage is coming, you're there and you know, you're focused, you're technical, and then you're just having fun. You're letting you radiate. You know, we've worked so hard. Our job is not really on stage. Our job is everything before, the weeks, months, years before, the work. This is just putting it all together and just let it be. Let it be whatever it is today. You know,
Right.
sometimes you have bad days. Everybody has bad days, or you know, COVID happens and you know, your anxiety, whatever, but just let it go. And it's at the end of the day, even though you're wearing a beautiful dress and you're on the center of the stage, it's really not about you. At the end of the people who live, they leave the stage and they leave the hall, and they take that energy with them, the energy you've given them home.
Mm.
So it's about giving.
Is there any secret recipe to put it in a way to achieve this performance zone? You know,
Again,
is
like I've told you, I've done, you know, years of therapy, not only therapy, but like sports therapy and meditation. And I do feel what's the easiest way is really, I think, meditation, not any weird meditation, just like
yeah,
mindfulness meditation. It's really, it's about bringing your awareness to now, you know? So it's like, I think like the magic pill is good technique and mindfulness, and of course like energy, like integrity and uh, personality, you know. But you can't like make it. You just have to you have to know yourself. But if you have good technique, then let's say you're nervous and your larynx goes up, you're like, okay, analytical mind of like, my larynx goes up, what can I do in my body and in my technique to remedy to that? And then mindfulness is like, look, I'm just going to do this. Everyone's enjoying. We're here. Let's just take it a breath at a time. Okay, this breath went well. How about this next breath? Okay, well, this was a bit shaky. I can, you know, swallow, take another breath and go on. You know, there's always, and for you, another part, and there's always a new opportunity for you to show yourself, to prove yourself, right? It's never like you made one mistake. I used to be like that. I made one mistake, I was done.
it's over.
Not more. It was over. The rest of the piece of the aria or the concert was shit because I just gave up. I gave up because I thought, how dare I make one mistake? You know, but then you go in life and people make mistakes all the time. Nobody's there like giving them bad critics about living their lives, you know, or nobody's there telling them, how dare you did that one mistake. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm allowed to do mistakes. It's about allowing the bad things to happen, but bounce back, know how to bounce back, right?
Yeah, right. I know.
And the magic pill is technique and joy and love as well, which comes with the mindfulness. Because, you know, if you hate being on stage and if you hate sharing and singing to other people, you're really not in the right business. Like, you just need to rethink a bit your life. And it's okay to love singing, but you sharing to not just is not your thing, then it's okay. But those things can be worked and it takes a lot of work actually. And again, it's not. I said to a friend of mine who is dealing through that, and she's paying this person and this therapist and this therapist, and and I've done the same, and I've spent so much money and energy and time on this and this, and trying and actually like waiting for someone else to fix me.
Yeah.
When I've had everything already inside. And I sound like a guru right now, but it's true. You have everything inside. You just need to like find that calm place. And that meditation brought that to me.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, bombing, screaming, conflict, crack of the voice, whatever is happening, like I'm me, I'm back, I'm strong. I find that strength and that calmness that you can always go and tap into.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's wow, great insights there for people that want to do this career too. I think that's a great advice from you. And Rihab, thanks so much for being here today. I'm going to leave another chance to people for to bring their comments if they. We have some people here that some comments here. Who said this? Yeah, Tarash. He's saying Rihab is Carmen.
Well, thanks.
And well, I think
Carmen is not a bad girl. She knows what she wants. You know what Carmen is? She's mindful. She lives her emotion. No, it's true. Whatever emotion she's living it at the fullest, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It could be kindness, it could be fun, it could be friendship, it could be flirt. Whatever she's feeling, she's doing. There's no like, I feel this, but I should show this. It's always what you see is what you get. So it is a great compliment. Thank you, Taras.
And you have many bravos for your area too. I'm gonna throw some names there just to acknowledge the people. I wouldn't, if there was no people to watch these programs, I wouldn't do it. I love interviewing artists, but still, I really appreciate the people taking the time to.
Yes, thank you.
So Jardine, bonjour Jardine, Ward Jardine.
Yeah.
Yes, she's there. And Jorge Rodriguez, that's my dad. My dad is like my biggest fan.
Family is always the biggest fan.
Yeah, so thanks Dad for watching, and he says bravo. He really loved the aria. Yeah. Valérie Poisson, my friend and your friend, soprano Valérie Poisson. She's there. She says hi.
Aww.
So hello everybody, and this was.
Thanks so much for being here with us.
Yeah.
And like listening to me rambling about. I don't know.
No, I think it's really interesting and very telling. All the things you've said today. I think. We will have to check back in the future, see if you did some Windhoff. If you went visit that man there. The retreats. I want to hear all from it. I wonder what he thinks about. He's also a musician, He kind of like he kind of gratte la guitare un peu.
Yeah, but what's inspiring is that he doesn't let his age stop him from doing anything.
No, it's crazy.
I love that. Like I'm always, I just posted a post about like always feeling like a beginner.
Yeah.
One, it's very humbling, but two, it's like we never stop learning. We take our brains and our body for granted that it's just going to be there, but it needs like exercise and not just the same thing all the time. It needs novelty. You need to put your body in different, situation and your brain as well. So, and he does that, and he's really curious, and he has such a great energy, and it's very, I don't know, it's very refreshing from an old man. Especially now we have a lot of old men in politics that are just not refreshing at all. So it's refreshing to have an old man who's taking himself not too seriously and who's living life at the fullest.
So now you're saying that today, my boss told me, please please, because I tend to go overboard with the talking. So he says, please make it short enough that I can see the debate for the. There's some debate today with
Why?
and I said, what? That's so insulting.
That's true. It is
Who
insulting.
wants to see that?
Nobody. And the sad thing is nobody can unsee what they saw. Jeez.
Yeah, it would be great to have some of us kind of a Men in Black type of memory eraser.
That was a very sad day for
Yeah,
humanity.
did you watch a little bit that debate?
Yes, and honest, it was so uncomfortable. It's like watching watching a plane crash very slowly. Oh my god, no, it was
No.
so uncomfortable. Like, and as a Canadian, it was like extra uncomfortable because we're like, why? What is happening? Like nobody does that.
Honestly, I felt like somebody just punch him. Like honestly, like I felt like I wish like Mike Tyson was there. He didn't know, and
It's a
he just came
tactic.
out of the blue and punched him in the face. Like
They should
just
have done a better job with the mediator. They should have stopped the entire thing. Honestly, I think they should have canceled it. But that was all tactical. You think he was
mm,
just someone told him, yo, just don't let one word come out of his mouth. Cut him. Just
yeah.
that was a tactical. Like it was tactical.
Yeah, to me, the talking over the other, that I'm kind of used to that, but that was terrible. Like it was too much, and but like really, what I really disliked, because I dislike this thing in politics, where it's about, it's not about what you're gonna do, but it's about how like you're gonna throw trash under the other person,
Yeah.
because at the end that doesn't mean that you're gonna do better. That just
Um,
means that you're intelligent to say trash about the other.
is that
And
intelligence? I doubt that's not really intelligence. That's
well, whatever we call that, but it's not related at all with what you're gonna do. So tell me what you're gonna do.
for me.
Eh,
For me, the cheap shot was when he attacked Joe Biden's son.
yes, that
But
yeah, I was going for
it's like a lot of people I know people who have been drug abusers and had worked their ass off to get out of that they like, and pointing at them saying like you're a failure. That is shame on that person, because people are making like are they want to get better. That person that we shall not name does not have that strength. Actually, he does
yeah
not
to come out. Yeah,
strength that Joe Biden's son has to get out of it. He does not. So family attacks, and that's the thing. That's why
yeah,
American politics is, and it's laughed on by the rest of the world because it's just that. It's like finding little dirty secrets about the others. It's like, can you just actually do what you're supposed to be good at, which is politics, which is not
yeah.
even politics. It's like, the real wives of the White House really right now. So
No, and the thing too is like at the end, a politician is a job. You're there to serve the better, like what the most people decided. You're there to facilitate what people are deciding. You're not. This is not. You're not a star because you're a politician. If
no,
you want to be a star, well, pick something else. Be a rock singer or something else.
unfortunately, like in the
It's
past, with the past like mandate of this current president, he didn't do anything. Like he just undid a lot of things. He undid a lot of things, and he kept talking about who he can help, but it's only a certain percentage of people he was talking to, really. Like it wasn't general. He very Republican way of like narrowing and dividing, and that's what's we don't have that here. It's like we're all we tend a bit like more conservative, more liberal, but it's not like such divide huge.
yeah,
uh,
yeah. No, we have some of the stuff, but I've never seen something like that. Who he makes me think is about. I come from Venezuela, by the way,
oh yeah,
and I flee there because it was a dictatorship already, and now it's worse than ever. And
yeah,
he actually makes me think of Hugo Chavez, which was the old dictator. He was like that, somewhat charismatic person a demagogue, and that was his main talent. He would put people against each other, and really, I see Donald, and really, it's like the white version of this Venezuelan dictator. Like
And
really,
the guy, I forgot his name, who's like also awful. What's his? I forgot. Who's like,
Venezuela, you mean?
no, in Brazil.
In Brazil, what's the name?
You know who I mean? Like the
Yeah, yeah,
other.
yeah. The president, they said, came out saying that that COVID was nothing, and
But yeah, but just
yeah,
his comments about women, comments about
yeah. So also,
police and army. It's just, these people are whatever. I'm just.
anyways, let's leave that for another
Now,
for another special.
COVID
And
needs what COVID needs to bring is a fresh wave of new and young politicians that are inclusive, non-racist, non any of that bullcrap. Because guess what? COVID doesn't discriminate. War. Like we're all in this together, and people need to understand that we're all one big, fucking huge family, and we need to start getting along because it's never gonna end, and so instead of keep dividing and dividing and dividing, let's unite, unite, unite. And I just want young people to get out there and start speaking and just spread the love and the music and the joy, and not do all these old people are doing. Like, I'm not age, like it's just a catastrophe to see these two people, especially this one person, talk about a nation that he doesn't have any idea what his nation needs.
no, and he doesn't listen either because he's always talking.
He doesn't listen either, and I'm baffled, and I'm concerned. I'm very concerned.
No, me too. I'm concerned. What do you think? What's your pronostic for? You think Biden has a chance there? Biden.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. A bit like with if a composer comes or not. I'm preparing for the worst, and if something good happens, then all the best. Like all the better. But honestly, I'm more concerned about my friends in the States.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about my friends who are left there to their own devices with, a Medicare system that's just appalling, and their president who doesn't believe in COVID, and now all of a sudden because he had it, he's like, it's a dangerous thing, and it's like, oh yeah, no shit. Like, I just.
But I expect him to. You know what I think is fake. I think I mean call me whatever you want to call me, stupid, whatever. I think it's fake, and I think this is a move really to say either two choices: to be the victim and poor me and win sympathy, or the other choice is to say that he's so strong. I overcame that. That's nothing. That little COVID, I told you, was nothing. I just went 3 days to the hospital, and look how strong I am. I'm stronger than the other one, and just
say that because there was a tweet that happened in September that already predicted that. So I'm not. I don't know if he had it or not. Like, I don't know, and I don't assume to know. But what I find interesting is that there was a tweet in somewhere in September by someone who said, guess what's going to happen? This is going to happen. Then Trump is going to all of a sudden have COVID, and then it's going to eclipse all the talk of Joe Biden like a few weeks before.
Really? Somebody predicted this?
Yeah, I posted it on Instagram like last week. But I'll repost it to all my Instagram people. I'll resend that tweet just to make sure that everyone knows that actually someone predicted that.
Okay, so what's the full prediction? Sorry, I interrupted you. I'm taking too many lessons from Trump.
No, what? What did you say?
I interrupted you when he predicted that that Trump was going to have the COVID.
Yeah, and that
And
then it's going to be all about like Donald Trump, and then there's no more coverage about Joe Biden, which is exactly what's happening right now. You just hear, what is the president? Is he okay? What's happening? Why is he taking his off his mask? Why is he going there with a mask? Blah 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 blah. It's just Trump, 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 Trump. You know, he's being talked about. That's the only name we hear.
wow. I wonder, like I think about it sometimes, and it's gonna come out. Stuff come out. So maybe in 20 years, in 15 years, what are we gonna be saying about this whole thing? Like, what are we gonna find about it? Like, even like I think House of sorry.
I'd rather not remember, because it was my I think it was my first. I just finished my first year in New York when that happened, and I was like moving to New York, Obama, and then like that happened, and it was the day of one of my audition on the stage of the Met for roles for the season after.
Yeah.
And I was meeting my friends at the nice wine bar near the Lincoln Center to watch the debate, and I don't know, and I've tried to really forget what happened the past 4 years.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like if Netflix style, for example, in 10 years they have a House of Cards Trump version. This episode of the epidemic, what, like maybe Trump injected himself the COVID or something like that to get it to actually something crazy like that. I think yes, a lot of stuff is happening under, for sure, under the radar.
And sometimes I feel like a fool, because we're all been fed like information, certain type of information, but I don't know, like I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I always feel like this, it's like an instinct that like there's something bigger going on and none of us know what it is, and that kind of makes me a bit squeezy, like a bit like
yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep my head on my shoulders, listen to good source news, and also make my own kind of thoughts, and as a human being, right? It shouldn't be that hard, but you'd be surprised. But still, just be careful and get.
So I had my last political question. I swear, I promise. Or it's sort of political. What's you told me like 3 weeks ago. Adrian, let's not do it in Facebook because I don't have Facebook anymore. I quit Facebook.
Yeah.
And now you told me you're back. Are you like considering still today, or why?
Well, because that's how they get you, So I've been wanting. So I've deleted Twitter years ago, and thank God, because what do I care if some random person in the UK thinks about this random subject? It's distraction. It's white noise, right? It's white noise, and then you just get addicted to that. And I thought, you know what, my time is more valuable. So I've deleted Twitter, but I was still stuck with Instagram and Facebook, and at least nothing really else. And Facebook, I was like, it's my generation. Like I had Facebook when it came out, I was one of the first people to have Facebook. Nobody knew about Facebook. And so I was always, and it was my thing for many, many, many years. But now I just find it annoying and blah, and I don't really care. But what I realize is that a lot of my friends and especially elderly that are not more elderly, but it's like the generation who doesn't use Instagram because Instagram, it's not relevant to them.
Yeah, it's for kids.
Yeah, literally. No, now it's like TikTok or Snapchat or
yeah. Now you have TikTok. Yeah.
No, I don't even have that. But so I realized like, I'm like, I wanted to get off of it because I thought it gave me a false sense of connection with people, and I am in a place of my life where I feel like I need to invest and spend more time with actual people, to not just like, hey, what's up on a text like once every 3 years.
Yeah.
That bothered me a lot, like to the core, and it bothered me for a while, but I kept it because whatever. And so when I took it off, it was really amazing. But then I realized like, oh, I really want to talk to that person about this project, but I don't have their phone number, I don't have their email, I don't have anything, I only have their Facebook. Damn it. And then also what I've realized is that it is still a good tool for like my Facebook fan page. Like I couldn't keep just my Facebook fan page. You have
Yeah.
your personal page.
Ah,
So
you can't do that.
nope.
Oh wow, I didn't know this.
I'll make like a fake account and ask and put like someone else in the admin and have them add put me in admin. It was just so complicated that
Oh wow.
but I don't go. I try. You know, it's again, it's an addiction, and honestly, Adrian, is like if there's one big addiction in my life is social media and phone, and
Oh really?
yeah, and everyone who says no, they're a liar. Everyone's at home doing this. Everyone's walking doing this. Everyone's on their
Well,
car.
I'm not. I swear. I don't.
Yeah, but like
I'm-
you know, when you're like commuting, nobody's reading a book. You're just like this, like who says what, and
yeah.
it became like an extension of my arm, and then it became like something is supposed to be a tool to help you achieve greater things has become the same thing that's destroying me, that destroyed my self-confidence, that destroyed my self-image, that destroyed a lot of my just it was giving me anxiety, and I was comparing myself, and I was you know scrolling, and it's really an addiction, the scrolling thing, and I you know needed a break, and
Mm.
so what I did is basically delete Facebook app on my phone,
Okay.
keep the messenger, and then if I need to put something on like my Facebook fan page or whatever, I'll do it, but deleting it from my phone was just also much better.
Oh, okay.
But so
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, the thing is, we have to realize, like people in general, that Facebook is good for Facebook, and the same with Instagram. You know, like those platforms are programmed to make you addicted to them.
but you know what
That's
was also very lightning. I mean, sure, everybody heard about this now, but there's a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma.
yeah.
Dilemma, and cause I've wanted to delete Facebook before The Social Dilemma happened, but then I was listening to a podcast actually, and a podcast about like I have a lot of podcasts, and I'm a member of these communities that are you know help you to read better, help you to memorize better. It's called Mind Valley, and you have a lot of like it's classes, courses on self-improvement, right? And I've been loving that because you know because of Facebook and because of social media, I have read one book in 2 years. Like shame on me. No, it's true. If I wasn't on my phone, I was learning music. And if I wasn't learning music, I was on my phone, like or playing like Sugar Crush Candy or what, you know. And I haven't read a book. Like how pathetic. I felt pathetic, and I wanted to not feel like that. I wanted to get better. I wanted to read, and you know, like interesting and successful people read. They read, and so anyway, so this guy who has this podcast was talking about the social dilemma. I was like, oh, you know, I haven't watched a good documentary in a while. Like I looked it up, and oh my god, like these are the people who created Facebook who are telling you don't have it, don't do it.
Ah, yeah, that there's a genius guy that he's chubbier, like is him that he's in that documentary with the beer. What's
Yeah,
his name?
the guy he wrote a book called How to Delete Your Social Media.
Right, right.
He's like a very like interesting looking guy, but yeah, and actually it's funny because my friend Lucas recommended me that book last summer, over a year ago, because I even was very vocal about my problem with social media.
Yeah.
And, you know, you should read that book, and I didn't read that book, but now this guy is on this documentary, and it's funny because you're like, oh, Netflix is telling you don't watch Facebook, but spend time on Netflix. But at the same time, I was like, these are the people who created Facebook, created Twitter, created Instagram. None of them are still there. Like some of them are still there, but the people who are in the documentary, of course, they left.
Yeah.
It's also how we think we have a choice, yet we don't. You know,
Yeah.
we're being fed the news we want to be fed.
Yeah, that's my main problem with it.
And so one of the guy who I think he was on Google or something, now he created like his own like search engine, which again you can say, well, he's just trying to push his own thing, but the search engine doesn't remember, it's private, doesn't remember your choices. So that means when you go and you don't have stupid ads saying like, you know what bothered me actually? Can I just be very like TMI for a second? And that's when that freaked me out. And I actually contacted Instagram to report this, because the day I hit 30, I started getting egg freezing ads on Instagram and Facebook. Freeze your eggs.
Freezing?
Your eggs.
Oh.
Like eggs.
Oh no.
And I was,
that's wrong.
at first I was like, okay, but then like after weeks of that, and just like this and that, and I actually contacted Instagram and I've reported this, and I said, this is like, why? Like, this is crazy. I hit 30, freeze your eggs. That's when it's like started to play with your, not only with your choice as a consumer and as a citizen, but your mental health. And I was like, wait, do I have to freeze my eggs?
Exactly.
Wait, what no, they don't get to do that. They don't get to do that to me. You know, if someone of my family wants to talk about that, that's different. But I don't allow Facebook or Instagram to make me feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I think what you're saying, the fact that because it's designed to keep you on Facebook, it fits you the ideologies and the ideas that you already, or that it predicts that you're gonna be agreeing with, and that's really dangerous for society. And like, actually it should be somewhat illegal to do that, because it's against the liberties of person. You're diminishing your world like this, and then at one point you cannot see anything else that what you already know about the world and about life. And I mean, that could have potentially like disastrous consequences for the society.
Potentially, it has happened. You know, it has brainwashed people. It has made people kill themselves. It has, social media is like number one reason for higher mortality and suicidal rates in teenagers. And so it's not potentially, it's happening right now, yet these companies are not doing anything,
no, it's crazy.
So again, it's a Netflix documentary, so I'm sure there's a huge lobbying behind it, but still there's the small group calling, I think, the ethical social media or whatever. It's like a group to prevent, that are fighting to prevent that, to like no ads and no this, no that, whatever it is that they're doing. It's just it's quite awful, and they are manipulating us.
Because that's how they're making the money. It's the advertised money. If I manipulate you to funnel you into this type of ads, then I can sell those ads to somebody else. And I mean, yes, we have to make money, but I guess the question now, I believe that they had the best. It's like the saying goes, something like hell is filled with the best intentions. So I think the Mark Zuckerberg had the best intentions when he created, but then maybe he went even bigger than he would ever have thought, and now there's this big problem, and we have to approach it as a social issue, not just an economical and not just a platform internet issue. Because I do agree. I mean, we're in Facebook right now. It's connecting us. It's giving good information too in some cases. But I guess it has to, something has to be done.
But for anyone watching, use Facebook as a tool and not as information or self-worth. It's a tool, and keep it like that. As your phone and computer or a hammer. It's a tool. You use it, then you leave it. You don't hang out your entire day with a hammer in hand, right? No, you use it for what you need.
I do.
We're crazy Montreal people. That's what we are. That's what makes us hip.
So listen, Rihab, so I wanted to thanks a lot, first of all, for this interview, and I wanted to maybe close the program with asking you a little bit what's coming on, in at least in the next 4 months, given the conditions, of course, but optimistically, what's going to happen, where are you performing, all this, and how can we join those shows?
Well, as I said, like the next, I would say, public appearances would be a recital concert with Jennifer Cito and I at the Conservatoire de Musique de Montréal on November 29th, Sunday, November 29th at 3 p.m., I think. And that's presented by Société d'Art Vocal de Montréal.
Ah, great.
And that's the third time we're desperately trying to do it. And it's called A Thousand Tales. And it's I'm debuting one particular song by a fellow Tunisian woman singer. And so I'm very excited about this project. And then
Can you repeat the date? I'm gonna try to see if I
Yeah.
can.
Well, it's
follow.
actually, I think it's sold out already because I think
Ah.
it's not allowed. But keep posted because we may do another show because I think for that hall they only allowed them like 46 people.
46. Okay. Wow.
So if nothing changes, it's 46 or 47 people, and so keep posted. We might do another one, and then the next concert is December 8th, I think, December 8th at the Oratoire Saint-Joseph.
Okay.
That's Handel's Messiah with the Orchestre Classique de Montréal.
Yeah, and I saw the cast of singers, great singers, Marcel D'Entremont, who's the other one? Polese. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be great.
I'm really looking forward to that. And then I have a big, long hiatus until April, which is hopefully I head to Belgium for the Werther.
Oh, great. And so what are your, I guess you're going to spend Christmas in Montreal with your family?
Yeah, I mean,
Is
we
that the
don't
plan?
celebrate Christmas actually, but yeah,
You-
I will be here.
Ah, okay, you don't. Okay.
No, because my family is Muslim.
Ah, okay. It's
You,
true. It's true.
I do the Jewish Christmas, so we get Chinese food and go to the movies.
Great. Okay.
With a fellow, Jewish and non-Christian. But I've always loved being a guest in a Christian family.
Yeah.
And my friends and stuff like that. So I'm sure there's going to be a celebration nonetheless. But my birthday is also January 1st.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it'll be the first time I'm in Canada in a long time for my birthday. Actually, I think it's going to be the first time in 10 years that I will
10
be
years.
spending my birthday here.
Wow. How old are you getting?
I'm gonna be 34.
34. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, she's still young.
Yeah, still young.
Yeah. Still young.
No freezing needed.
What?
No freezing needed.
Nah. Wow. That's really weird. Honestly, I can't believe that.
That's how they manipulate you. So.
Yeah. Well, so anyways, Rihab, thanks a lot again, and well, we'll catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll send you an email on your birthday. I try to make a note here.
Thanks for everyone who
good luck, huh?
watched and stayed with us. And everybody, please stay safe and wear your mask, not only for you, but for others.
Yeah, do that. All right, this was that was Rihab Chaieb, Mezzo-Soprano, with us tonight, and I'm Don Adriano, and this is La Scena Musicales program, La Scena Tête. Thanks to Rihab, a really wonderful interview with her, and I invite you to pick up the magazine if you can. We're gonna be distributing through the Gazette and the Journal de Montréal. That's a news. So yes, that's the November issue. We're gonna have a special there on higher education and what else? Higher education and the COVID situation. All things COVID. All things. All artistic matters things. So thanks a lot to everybody. Thanks to my technician Brendan and to all the team of La Scena Musicale for making this possible, and again to Rihab Chaieb for her generosity and her spontaneity. So I'm Adrian Don Adriano, and see you next month. Now we're gonna go once a month. Thank you.